Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first installment in our new cinematic universe here on Cosmic Mapping, the Raking the Leaves podcast, a Paul McCartney's Ram experience, where we shall be each individually giving our Ram takes or rakes. Henceforth, we shall be raking the leaves. I know this is what everybody wanted from me, so this is what I'm giving. I'm here with my two Ramophiles. This is going to be Madam Sabrina Mapping. What do you have to say for us, Sabrina? Introduce yourself.
I'm Sabrina Mapping. You may know me from my Transformize post or my Alternate Future of the World mapping series. I'm not so much of a music man myself. You know, Ram has been a rare experience for me in terms of that, but, you know, I make up for that in my love for the country and my hate for city slickers. I've been a country lover since I moved here at age 2. When I moved to greener pastures, quite literally, actually. And yeah, that's me. I'm the country boy.
Thank you so much for gracing us with your country knowledge. That's what we're all here for. We fucking hate city slickers with the skin being shown with their liberal arts degrees, having to look at their pores all day.
Oh, no,
you have to
right?
see the oil from their skin drip from the top of their face into each pore individually, and it's like, cover that up. Cover that up, please. I'm tired of it, please.
Do not conjure this image in my head any further,
I'm sorry,
please.
but, like, I have to see it every...
This
I'm, like,
is
looking
torture
out my
to me.
fucking window, I see, like, legs, I see thighs, I see arms.
Oh,
and
man, I
it's
feel
like,
for you there.
It's like barnacles on the side of a fishing vessel, all those pores open and gaping and just revealed to the world. It's gross and I hate it and it's troubling. That's why...
Call
I'm
me
sorry,
a
I'm sorry.
human, but I like the moist grease of the human body.
Okay, well, that's
It's
why
a good intro.
we're here for all sorts of diverse opinions, and even though some things that Sarah say may be just completely and utterly fucking unacceptable like that, it's okay, we accept and we move on. There's plenty of other things. Okay, Sarah, introduce yourself. Why are you here? That's not a good way to start, by, like, a poor apologism. But give it to me anyways, come on now.
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I sell videos of myself dominating random men on the internet with my feet. If you're interested in that, you know, hit my line.
It will be in the description, and it will be at the top, for real. Below Ram.
Oh, yeah.
Below the Spotify link for Ram.
And above the link to my Transformers page.
Above that. Which, of course, will all be above an Act Blue link for, retroactive donations to the Pete Buttigieg campaign, but, you know, you can
As
do
well
it.
as the RNC.
As well as the RNC. We're playing both sides, so we always come out on top. That's a Ram move.
Yeah.
That's what Paul and Linda both represent. So, let's get into the primary, like, little gumbo soup of what we're going to be eating today. That is Ram by Paul McCartney, a legendary record published in 1971 by Apple Core Records. Now, this record has a special place in what I'd hope would be all of our hearts, but, you know, as a society, we've been more and more moving away from the values that Ram represents, that it Ram presents, if you will. And I'm hoping that through our commentary today, we can instill future generations with a little bit more of that Ram. So, I want to give everyone a little background on what the cultural moment, the zeitgeist health was at the publishing of Ram, because what we're observing is a post-Beatles malaise. What you have is a broken home. Okay, a broken home, a family torn apart. 4 brothers bound in a sea of mutual collaboration, all just sort of drifting for really no reason. It just happened, and it's a tragedy. And you have them all trying to sort of find their ways in the world. And you have George coming out with All Things Must Pass. All of these records following the post-Beatles breakup all follow the same general theme of, like, moving on and the cyclical nature of reality and rebirth and shit. Everybody had their own, except for Ringo, who did an album of covers. But he's not a real person. Yeah, fuck Ringo. So you had George Harrison, who came out with All Things Must Pass, very Eastern Buddhist-inspired record. Triple LP, filled with classics. Epic, an epic of its time. Then, of course, you had John Lennon. John Lennon. Now, John Lennon... Hold on. Oh, God.
Lennon.
It's really hard to, like, get through saying his name. Okay, John Lennon. He came out with Plastic Ono Band with that bitch that swooped him away, that they them pussy bitch that took him away from Paul, hurt him, scarred his heart. They put out Plastic Ono Band, sort of a very grungy, very, like, sort of just outwardly negative reflection on the immediate events following the breakup of the Beatles. And it is, I hate to give the man credit, but you do feel some sort of relatability in a lot of those lyrics. It's very raw, it's very in your face, and just sort of it indulges in its own unrequited negativity, which is a Lennon staple. But then you got Paul McCartney putting out Ram. All eyes were on him. Harrison and Lennon both put out their records first, and they were both highly celebrated in their time. So everybody was looking at Paul, who at the time was not viewed favorably in the press, is a thing you gotta remember. He was viewed as sort of the Judas of the Beatles. He was the first to publicly quit the band that came out. Everybody sort of viewed him as the overbearing yonic abyss that the band fell into as he attempted to mommy everyone. And that then, of course, as we know, Paul is just a good-natured family man at heart and did his best to hold the band together.
Yeah, really an American at heart.
Really an American at heart. Really just like Midwestern Nebraskan Americana. Yeah, I get from Paul McCartney.
Yes.
So...
Continue.
I'll cut that.
Yes.
All eyes were on him. Ram needed to hit. It needed to be like the big, McCartney's zeitgeist altering, like fucking tsunami coming in now, listen to these songs being written. That's not what Paul did. I mean, it is what Paul did, but at the moment it was not what it needed to be for him. This album was despised in its era. Lennon came out, he called it Muzak, as if that's an attack, as if, like, elevators aren't the home of the best fucking, like, musical innovations on the planet. He insulted it, called it granny shit. Ringo came out and said, I feel bad for Paul. That last record, Ram, there wasn't a single good song on it, coming from Ringo, the guy whose most famous solo single is called You're 16, You're Beautiful and You're Mine. Thank you, Ringo, for your take. So, this is an album that has since been culturally revered, that has since had a grandiose redemption arc. But I do think it is important that before we get into the track-by-track analysis, we do acknowledge that this is sort of the fucking, not Picasso, Vincent, our man Vincey. This is the Vincent Van Gogh of the McCartney discography. So, let's all remember the tragedy of Ram and what it represents before we move forward. You gotta remember, this shit was panned and he cried. This was a terrible... Like, Ram, the release date of Ram. It made Paul cry, which is, like, just so tragic. There is, like, an inherent sadness on Paul's face. You know, his eyes are kind of shaped like tears already. They're kind of like a ram. Kind of like a ram's eyes are just shaped like tears. He saw himself in the horns of a ram, and he wrote a record based on that. So let's just acknowledge that and move into the track-by-track analysis. And, well, this isn't... We'll get into that. We'll get into the whole, like, concept record, blah, 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 start. Let's start with the track on the first track on the first side of this record, that being Too Many People. Guys, what a rocker. What a rocker. I want to open the floor here. Who wants to go first on Too Many People?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really great track.
An incredible track. I really can't think of a better track to start this record, because in Too Many People there are tones of Genesis. You sort of, those like first chords being played on the guitar, they scream of like, there's a melancholic nature to it, you know? You kind of sense that like there's something, it's being birthed from silence, but it's created, like there's a forward momentum to those chords. But it doesn't like shy away from acknowledging the darkness in its wake, which I think is just the beauty of this record all, like, in its own way. It's like, Too Many People it's like a Buddhist song. It's a celebration of the cyclical nature of impermanence, which is sort of like the theme throughout this whole record because it's very much acknowledging the loss of the Beatles and all that shit. There's sort of a melancholic haze behind like the happy melodies of a lot of these songs. That theme comes up a lot, and I think Too Many People is a really distilled example of that, because you start in the void. You start in silence and relative, like, reserved chords and shit, and sort of Paul just screaming into the ether. It echoes, and it just echoes, and then it just fucking jumps into this, like, rock anthem. Paul does that solo. That's actually Paul playing the fucking guitar in that solo, which I did not know. We forget that Paul is like a fucking virtuistic multi-instrumental musician.
Yeah.
We forget about
we forget his greatness.
Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Lest we forget. You know, I absolutely agree with you about the beginning. I mean, I feel like it's such a powerful build-up from silence and like really some hero's journey-esque.
Right?
Where it's like, it's just such a power ballad. Like, whoever this is hyping up is a hero. He is a god amongst men, and he is going to save us from, like, whatever, you know, false tensions we believe in. And that's exactly what the song is about. It's all about, like, you know, him just saying that too many people are conforming to society and doing things that they don't necessarily want to do just to fit in.
Yeah, like, I love that you bring that up, because it is, like, scolding, in a way. Like, there's Paul scolding the populace, but it's warm. It feels like your mother telling you not to, like, drink from the hose.
Yeah, it's like your mom telling you to not, you know, I don't know, to be good.
To be good and not fucking, like, fuck with people. It's like a parent scolding, a warm parent scolding, like, hey, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, so they want the best for you.
Yeah.
They want the best for you. Like, Paul is putting his foot down and letting you know what's up. Hands are on hips.
It would never be out of hatred or, you know,
it would never be out of a need to hurt.
It's only out of care.
Yeah, which is a really, like, interesting note to hit. It's like honestly a difficult tone to balance musically, because music it's super easy to make well, I don't want to say super easy, but it is easier to write a song or a record that's super, like, grungy and cynical, or even just, like, outwardly optimistic and blah blah blah, but to ride that, like, freaky fucking fence of optimistic but, I don't know, acknowledging the inherent sadness of life, but also the inherent beauty. Like, that's hard. And Paul, like, leave it to fucking Paul McCartney to do that shit.
I gotta give my take on this.
Oh, yes, Savvy, please.
What I got it from personally, yeah.
Sabrina, excuse me.
Okay, yeah, so, Paul, my man, he's out here, giving many takes, many critiques, you know, saying too many people are doing this or that, and, you know, you gotta keep in mind, when you're listening to this record as a whole, really, after the whole, like, Beatles breakup, he went to a Scottish farm with his wife Linda to record Ram. And, you know, that's a common theme, you know, something I personally connect with, going to the country, you know. I've lived here most of my life, and I have to say, I agree with a lot of his points, you know. Say, too many people going underground, you know, perhaps alluding to the subway systems. And, you know, people being pushed around, you know. People often criticize cities for being, you know, crowded. And,
They do be doing that. Cities do be crowded, though.
As the title says, too many people. You know, it all comes full circle here. And I have to say, I commend Paul for putting this together. This powerful, scornful, but also loving critique.
Fucking for real.
That is my take on too many people.
What are collections of urban density if not a fucking, like, Amazon fulfillment center for disease and plague? Too many people. Too many people.
Too many people.
Fucking city
You know,
slickers.
I feel like,
Good
you
on
know,
Paul
too many
for-
people
for-
is prophesizing the cities and hellscapes that we live in now.
Yeah,
it
because
was a
cities-
Oh, yeah,
warning.
it's still relevant today.
It's still
The
relevant
issues and
today.
themes present they've somehow become even more relevant, and dare I say, they'll continue being more relevant in the future. You know, the rapid urbanization and the such. You know, it's
Exactly.
something that's what this podcast is all about. It's a reminder for our generation, for future generations, that, you know, these are some very real issues, and funnily enough, they were being discussed and brought about 50 years ago.
Yeah,
For real.
And I think Paul was really ahead of his time for, you know, discussing such controversial issues as controlling the population of
Oh
children.
yeah.
You know,
It
child
harkens
limits.
back to the
It
problem.
was very
the vaccine mandates of today, and the very
Oh, that's true,
urban
yeah.
problems that are constantly brought up. And Paul was sort of warning us about that.
yeah.
It also harkens like too many people. The human being to oxen ratio has been completely thrown off in the last 50 years. It was a little bit more solid. You kind of had like one oxen for every 2 to 3 people, and now you have like 10 people for every 0.5
Exactly,
oxen.
that's tragic.
Too many
And this
fucking
is
goddamn
why-
people. Not enough oxen.
This is why we need child limits for families. China is doing it right now.
Exactly.
Paul and the Chinese
True.
government know what they're doing, and we
Exactly.
need to put our
Good
trust
take.
in them.
1.2 children per family, which brings us into our next track, of course, 3 legs. 1.2 children, total 3 legs. This is what he wanted us to know. 3 legs, track 2, side 1. This song brilliantly follows up on the foundation that was laid by too many people, because,
Absolutely.
right? First of all, musically, it is an unrequited jammer. Unrequited jammer. There's not a bit in this song that doesn't fucking go hard. You're not given a second to reflect on anything. You're just accepting Paul. He's there, and you feel him come into your body. You feel Paul inside you. And I feel like that's generally the mindset most of us should be in our day-to-day life. One with Paul inside of us. Inside of me. What were we talking about?
I think it was something to do with the podcast, but the 3 legs is really a banger because it's just Paul being raw, A dog is here, a dog is there.
A dog is here.
Man.
True
That's
word.
lyrical
Dog
genius.
is here. Dog is here.
It's like the dog's actually here with
Yeah,
us.
it's
in the
like
show.
it's actually here with me.
That
and then
line
when
hits.
When it moves, it's actually over there. Like
For
it's painted
real?
a very
I
vivid
see the
picture
dog there,
for
and
me.
then I see the dog there, and I don't even see like the frames of animation between those 2 locations.
No,
dog
it just
here, dog there.
teleports
Dog
from
here,
it.
dog there, and
Yeah.
that line hits. It's like poetic. It's like a Kendrick Lamar rap album.
It's like 2 states of mind.
When you hear him drop like "This is the problem with society. We gotta do something about it." It's like a dog is here.
Very much, very similar.
Very similar tones and styles on the part of Kendrick and McCartney.
Yeah.
My favorite songwriting duo. So, yeah, and then you have that last third of 3 legs that just comes fucking out of nowhere and changes.
The last leg. If you
The third leg of 3 legs, if you fucking...
Yeah.
The third leg of 3 legs comes in, and your melanin content jumps 300% on that third leg, because it changes to that fucking halftime groove. Fucking for real. Which just goes
My
to show.
dog, he got 3 legs. Your dog, he got none.
Leave it to Paul McCartney to like be singing about the leg count on a dog and like make you feel like you're in the club. So
real flex.
such a flex, which like getting in a couple songs like he's flexing throughout this whole fucking album.
True.
But that really does go to show like the musical versity of the Beatles, all 4 of them, but Paul McCartney specifically, where he was just tapped into all these different fucking genres. Like, this is a genre-hopping record. It does stick close to that, like, lo-fi indie pop aesthetic, but it goes all over the place, and
Yeah.
3 Legs is an example of that.
3 legs has some deep blues in it, for sure.
It does! It taps into R&B, which I wasn't expecting when I saw him fiddling with ears on the cover in black and
Yeah.
white, but halftime. You get halftime in that Ram, dude. So, 3 legs. A dog is here, a dog is there. Take that with you. A little piece of mwah from me to you. So, this next song. Ram on,
I
guys.
like this one a lot.
Ram on, guys. Guys,
Ram
ram
on.
on. Ram
We are
on.
ramming on right now.
We are
I think it's very
ramming on
fitting
right
that we
now.
touch
It's like
on
he
this.
said ram on, and we like hated that call, and we're here ramming on.
Yeah, literally.
Oh yeah.
For real. And ramming on is a general state of mind that America has kind of fallen out of using, and I'm
Absolutely.
imagining Ireland as well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But especially here in America, like nobody rams on. Nobody listens to Ram. You don't see Ram in
Oh,
anybody's
yeah, this is
Spotify.
Biden's
it's
America.
true.
You don't see Ram in anybody's Amazon Music Wrapped. Nobody's asking Alexa to play Ram. Okay.
No one's
I'm glad
ramming
mine
on
didn't come wrong.
generally in the public.
Nobody's
You know?
ramming on, and it's a tragedy.
No one is taking on the spirit of ramming on, you know? Ramming on is about keeping your head down and pushing forward and, you know, going through life's obstacles even if they're tough. But our society right now, our generation, we aren't ramming on.
We're a bunch of goddamn snowflakes.
Yeah,
this
we're all
generation.
snowflakes.
Nobody rams on.
I think the reason we have such a snowflake problem is because Ram isn't more popular with the youth.
If Ram was more popular with the youth, you would see a more enterprising Gen Z. Instead,
it wasn't panned.
If it wasn't panned in the 70s, if it had that extra decade of cultural celebration, we could have had, like, people nowadays, you know, they'll listen to Sgt. Pepper, they'll listen to Abbey Road, nobody's listening to Ram, and we are given a soft generation because of that.
We would be living in the fucking Jetsons by now.
Nobody rams on. Nobody, like, everybody, all Gen Z is out there applying for Starbucks jobs when they should be staying home, researching the blockchain, researching NFTs on Discord and Twitter. Now, if we had a generation that listened to Ram, we could finally push through that and finally, like, mainstream NFTs. They would be a crypto-minded
generation. They would be entrepreneurial, and they would ram on through the blockchain.
Fucking for real. You're supposed to ram on through every step of the blockchain. Minting, mining, setting that shit as your profile picture, celebrating the culture of NFTs and non-fungible tokens. That is what RAM is truly about, and I feel like Paul tried to tell us about that, but he's fucking, you know, he's always just so
I think he did as well. You know, I really wish we were a generation of Ram Lambs, but unfortunately we're not.
We're not Ram Lambs. We're city slickers.
We're not Ram Lambs.
We're fucking city slickers. It's a
I
damn
wouldn't
shame.
go that far, you know. But...
Well, like, I'm trying my best to run away from it, dude. But, like, when you live in a zeitgeist of city slickers, it's kind of like it penetrates you a little bit.
It's true.
And, you know, I do like to be penetrated. I'm sorry.
Not to throw off the conversation in any sense, but to talk about the song, I feel like it's very angelic. You know, it has a very, like, angelic ukulele, like, like, you know, Paul is descending from the heavens to give us this little piece of advice.
You're right. It is heavenly.
Effectively invest in NFTs.
It's like, in relating to the dog thing, like, Ram On sounds like what every golden retriever hears while dying. Like, it sounds like what every golden retriever hears in their head while they're taking the needle. It's beautiful. It's, in a way, haunting, too?
It's very haunting, it's for sure.
Because it is, like too many people, it's kind of a warning. It's kind of like
very much so.
It's
a reminder.
It's a reminder. It is a reminder.
Yeah, it's a reminder to not be like bitter and cold.
Exactly. It's like the reminder on your phone that you set in 2012 and keeps coming up telling you to go to the doctor, but you don't trust them. You don't trust they're still not worthy of your trust.
Feed your springtails that have died like 3 years ago. What the fuck? Why have I not disabled that alarm?
I know.
Dog is here.
That was really good. That's real too. I know you do that.
It still pops up every Tuesday. It's not a bit.
It's not a bit, man. You really got that post-mortem
springtail
alarm.
Here.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, Ram On.
Yeah, but no, I the way I interpreted the song was like it was, you know, the lyrics are very repetitive, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a hymn. Something really pressing and on his mind.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't know. It almost feels like this is like circling in his head.
Yeah, it is, and he's heeding his own tail because, I mean, like, he rammed the fuck on through this whole album. I mean, he was in Scotland. Yeah. He moved there following the death of the Beatles to, like, really just marinate in his music and shit. And that warning, ram on, give your heart to somebody soon. Away. Like that,
away.
The soon right away kind of hits, and it kind of like makes your anus fall out a little bit. It makes you a little scared.
It's like really anxiety-inducing. It's like, shit.
It's like genuinely fucking like, oh god damn, I gotta ram on like fast.
I need to be ramming on.
There's not a lot of time to be ramming on. Like I'm listening to ram on
and snap me out of my like clinical depression. It's ram on. Like
the warning to ram on.
Moving.
I'm looking at ram on Spotify, and I look down the bottom right of my screen, and it says fucking April 1st, 2022, and it's fucking I wish I was told to ram on like 10 years ago. But that's besides the point. We all like hear the gospel at certain stages in our life, and we can't like we wouldn't go to fucking like Ethiopia and yell at them for not having missionaries sooner. Like it's we everybody gets the message at a different point in your life. The important part is that you just receive it, and you be open to be penetrated and entered by it.
True.
What were we talking about?
You know, I feel like you got something on your mind today, but I don't know if we should go further into it. Maybe we should just keep on the songs.
Oh. Okay, yeah. Ram. Oh, Paul McCartney. Okay, Dear Boy. We're going into Dear Boy. Now, I think Dear Boy... I have a lot of notes now for Dear Boy.
It's not a lot.
Dear
Why
Boy
did you listen to that one then?
is the track on this record that sort of, I think, encapsulates its like the repeating theme of like parental scolding and like warm warning almost. There's like a lot in this record that feels like a warning. A lot of it feels like just I have reached the top. I've rammed on the most. And I'm telling everybody to fucking, like, hurry up before the gate closes. Like, keep running and running to, like, the Ram Ranch and lock yourself in before this gate closes. So, Dear Boy is actually... Well, hold on, Sarah, I want to hear you talk about this a little bit before I get into it, because I have some stuff I want to say. And I know, like, you wrote down some stuff for Dear Boy.
Yeah, so I know nothing about this track, so everything I'm about to say is bullshit. But the way I interpreted it was as, like, Paul talking to a younger version of himself about a relationship he was previously in, and how he didn't take it for granted.
That's a wonderful interpretation, and almost in a way it is. But... I do actually. I hold the secrets.
You have to reveal the secret.
I have to reveal.
Well,
the
I have a
secret
secret in my sleeve. I'm gonna reveal later. I'll tell you that
Oh
much.
shit! Okay. God damn! About to be told a Ram secret. Fuck.
Oh yeah, Ram secret.
Damn it! About to like tell me some shit that went down in my childhood. Okay. So this song, Dear Boy, was written by Paul McCartney to Linda McCartney's ex, which is fucking so cool.
Very savage.
Very
red
Very
pill.
savage and
very red pilled, dude. Like American Psycho, Jason Bates. Like fucking. That's
Yeah.
not that guy's name. It's Jason
Norman.
Bates.
Yeah.
Norman Osborn. What's his name?
Is it Norman or Patrick? I can't. Patrick Bateman.
I think it's
this
Norman.
Is this is how you can tell we're not
Norman Jackson.
film kids.
I think it's Norman Jackson. But this is a based and red pilled song. Like imagine. Like, you stop dating this girl, and then Paul fucking McCartney, the most famous person on the planet, knighted by the Queen, writes a genre-defining pop standard based on the size of the L you just took. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Love it. Ram on. And,
Ram
of course,
on.
musically, like, those electric piano accents that, like, almost sound like fucking, You're My Best Friend by Queen comes in there. Like, just all this different musical experimentation. Just, like... celebrating the bliss found between, like, buttress between the horns of the Ram. It's absolutely carefree, stunningly melodic, like classic McCartney shit. These ethereal harmonies throughout it all. Joyous, absolutely joyous. It sounds like love. It sounds like butterflies in your stomach. It's crazy. What do you think about Dear Boy, Savvy?
You know, I don't have a lot to say about Dear Boy. You know, he's talking to this, like, silly little clueless boy who's apparently very dear. And, you know, he's teaching him, he's schooling him, and, you know, that revelation that you just gave, you know, it all makes a lot of sense all of a sudden.
I didn't expect him to refer to him as such a dear boy.
Yeah, I was
That's
thinking
true.
about that.
Well, it's...
He'd be a bad boy in my mind.
He is a bad boy, but I think that's the point. It's patronizing, you know, dear boy. Like, you fucking just...
That's true.
That's why it, like, harkens back to that parental scolding thing. Your mom wouldn't say,
Yeah,
you fucking
yeah.
piece of shit, I hate you.
Just
It's
like
dear
God.
boy, what have you done?
Just like how our Lord in heaven is a fatherly figure,
Yeah.
so is Paul a fatherly
Yeah.
figure to the masses.
Like, forgive them,
A
Father,
prophet.
for they not know what they do. For
Yes.
they not know what they be doing, Dad. Like, that level of shit. Like, Pops,
And Paul
give him a break.
forgiveth.
Paul forgiveth, Pops be giving him a break. So...
Yeah.
Paul forgiveth is the real takeaway from Dear Boy. But it is, again, scolding. But I do hope, like, that... I hope that, like, that guy was okay.
Yeah, me
Because, like,
too.
if that happened to me, I would just fucking... I would not...
I was
I'm
thinking
done,
if
dude.
yeah, wow.
Like, holy
Wow.
shit.
I
Like
think
Ramos.
that would send me spiraling.
Like-
if Paul McCartney wrote a song about how, like, my ex is so much happier with him, holy shit.
Holy shit.
I would go spiraling.
That's it. Like, what does your therapist tell you?
What does your therapist even have to
What's-
say to that?
What's, like, the fucking... The playbook, the psychological playbook for Paul McCartney diss track? What do
They
you
don't
do?
write that into the DSM.
They fucking don't. That's not a course that you can take. That's like, you're done. Just, you're done. Ram on, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe
what
it's
if you
like,
just ram on. The only one you can consult is that, like, he's got, like, such a Chad aura to him, because he, like, steals your girl, but then, like, he's the only one you can turn to in a time of crisis.
He steals your girl and then, like, pats you on the back and like, no, let's build you back up, buddy. Like, what the fuck?
He builds him back up into, like, a beta cuckold version of his old self. Like, damn, Paul, you're a savage.
Damn it, Paul really tearing down men's beans and building them back up in his own image. Like, Paul McCartney.
Literally, though. He builds men in the form of himself.
People calling
just
fucking
like a god.
John Lennon. People calling him like the bad boy of the Beatles. Motherfucking Paul McCartney out here being like Jesus on the cross and also like the devil in the underworld. Like
that's that's like comparing the like little old Satan to God. Like, of course Satan's a bad boy. But
yeah.
Come on, God's got all the power.
God created all the fucked up shit that happens. Satan didn't do that. He just punishes you for engaging in it.
He'll do it with a fatherly essence and love, you know?
Literally, which is like obviously the best. We take that into account. Obviously, all the best Discord mods follow in that footstep. So really, it's a Discord moderation anthem. So very true. And I'm finally happy that somebody said it. That person being me. So next song, this is the sleeper hit of the album. When I got into Ram, I was surprised to see this having the most listens. It has, like, by a lot, too. It's got, like, 25 million playbacks, and the rest are all in the single digits in terms of million.
Oh.
It's not like 7 plays on too many people. 25 million on average.
They're all us.
They're all us re-listening to the record. Everybody's
we're the
just
only ones left.
picks the best track. We're the only ones ramming on. We had to fucking make this podcast. Nobody else was doing it.
So, question, have we founded a religion?
Well, I prefer to think of it as a pantheon, because, well, Paul is our central figure of worship, Linda is steadfast in equal worship, sort of the Artemis of our pantheon.
Yeah. I think we should save the religion for, like, episode 5 or something, you know.
Yeah, when we truly, like, start laying out our tenets and publishing works.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, hiring preachers, buying property, paying off parents, you know, all the things that churches do. So, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey, fucking... What a good song! What a journey! So, I have a lot to say, but I want to open it up first before I, like, just really go in on it. So, like, Sabby, Sarah, what's the deal?
Sabby, why don't you go first?
Okay, I'll go first with this one. You know, I like the addition of the rain and the storms. You know, those are two things that actually happen on farms. You know, with Rams. You know, it's realistic. It's grounded. Something you can relate to. At least if you're not a city slicker.
Fuck city slickers. I do love that. It's like the best.
Yeah, like it probably doesn't even rain in cities.
It's like the best.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I've been there. It never rains. There's no moisture. There's no.
Oh, really?
I don't even think they have a sky yet. That's still like in development.
Oh, really?
They just use showers to recreate it.
Yeah,
it's not the same. It's not natural. It's not like.
That's why they bathe. Lord knows they don't do it to get the fucking gunk out of their pores. Fuck.
Oh, true. Yeah.
God damn it! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring it up. I'm like.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay. God damn it, man. The fucking. Okay.
And on the topic of water, you know the line about hands going across the water in the sky.
Ooh.
Those are both also two things you can find on farms. Not sure about cities, but you can find them in the country and on farms. And you know, I respect that. I respect the advertisement, the promotion.
I appreciate the Dora the Explorer roll call of things that
he even brought up butter pie. You know, it's not my thing. It's too British for me, but you know. Good for him, I guess.
It is another thing that you can find on a farm.
Yeah, if you look hard enough, like under a stable or something.
Under a stable, maybe inside a ram, you'll find a butter pie.
In Scotland. Yeah.
In Scotland.
City slickers would never think to make a butter pie.
City slickers would never think to breathe air. You know, I don't. It's like really a fucked up.
Yeah, they feel real be just breathing fumes and smoke.
Like breathing fumes.
Yeah, I've never been to a city before, so like my perception might be a little bit skewed. But the way I'm imagining it is like have you seen that movie WALL-E?
I have.
Yeah, you know the people in that. Is it anything like that?
It's more like the scenes when WALL-E is on Earth compacting squares and shit. That's generally the vibe I get when I
But where
observe.
there's people though, right? Because that's what's.
Well, I don't.
that's
It's
what
kind of
Paul
hard to
talks
see
about.
because I'll, every once in a while I'll head out and I'll fly a GoPro drone over a city nearby me just so I can like kind of get a look, and it's hard to see people. I see creatures. I see like signs of organic life, but I don't know about like people.
Okay.
There's a lot of city
That's
slickers,
interesting.
not a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a distinction.
There's another thing that starts with P that I see a lot of in that city, but I'm not gonna finish that word. I'm sorry. Fuck.
PP.
Okay, P, poor penis. Okay, penis. That's a better P word. Penis. Okay, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey. Again, like you were talking about with that, like a lot of musical experimentation. The sounds of the coming storms, the rain. It's like the best boyfriend ASMR when you hear the rain hitting the fucking
Oh,
window
hell
and
yeah.
shit,
Yeah,
you know?
it's like the 10-hour like rain compilation.
Yeah,
for
like
sleeping.
legit, like 10 hours of Matthew McConaughey going in your ear and shit, and you just hear like the fucking wind in the background. Like,
I can't even be thinking like that. Having Paul McCartney lay next to me in bed while it rains, like fuck, you guys
Well,
are killing me.
See, you just added like an extra 10 inches to the girth of my penis. Not even the height, the girth. That's the kind of thing Paul does to you. So if we could all just be careful about the objectification
Yeah,
of
no,
him because
sorry.
it's too powerful.
That's like that's my fantasy right there, like a Jewish Keanu Reeves.
Jewish Keanu
Exactly.
Reeves. What a sex
So that's-
symbol. So, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey, it's a reflection of the human spirit. It's like the heart aching for its own tragic and beautiful condition. It just takes you across, like it starts somber, but it's so human. It feels like, he's like apologizing for actions that I don't even fucking know. I don't know, what could Paul do? Could he do wrong? I don't think so, but apparently he did. And you feel like the genuine, like, sadness in his voice as
Who
he
is
expresses
this
that.
Albert?
Who's this Halsey?
That's true. Are they the same man?
I'd say
Is
one's
it
an
Albert
uncle, one's an
Halsey?
It may
admiral,
be
I just don't know
Al-
which is which.
Holy fuck. Oh my god, it may be Albert Halsey. He's Paul's uncle, and also an admiral?
That's what I want to believe.
You could be onto something there.
That's
could
what
be.
I
Those are all
want
the
to
words
believe.
in the title.
Alright, so, Sabby, if you want to get on this, put together a packet that we can send to MatPat, like a little tweet, some lyrics, anything.
Oh yeah, of course. I'll be on that.
A quick little write-up of this theory.
Yeah, we
hopefully
need
can get this
confirmation.
produced. Yeah,
This is big news.
yeah. If he could take some time off, like decoding Taliban radio transmissions, maybe he can give.
Yeah,
Admiral
I think this
Halsey's
is more
time.
important. This is something that needs to be heard. In this
Yeah,
day and age.
I'm not like. What do we know? All there is to know about Graxum. We don't need to code anymore of their
Yeah,
shit.
like the thing. I think the Afghanistan wouldn't have fallen if it wasn't for Ram. If we
They
look
have a
at-
lot of RAM over there. That's like that's what's so sad. Like no country rams on more than Afghanistan. Is the thing we
That's
all
true.
got to remember. It's like
It's
sprawling
like it's the
tundras
number
of
one
RAM.
exporter of RAM.
Number one, I think they actually are. Is the thing
Yeah,
about that?
it's-
Like,
it's
they
a
do.
close-
They like export sheep and
They're
ram
very
and oxen
close with
and
New
shit.
Zealand, but I think it's number one.
I think it is number one. Unfortunately, they're ramming on. They've kind of rammed off a little bit in the last year or so.
Yeah, they
Taliban, stop ramming off! Ram on, Taliban. Just ram on.
Ram on.
See, if Biden, if like a Daddy Joseph could just get on the podium and tell fucking the Taliban to ram on, I feel like we'd have a more general. I don't know. It's hard. It's difficult.
And this, it's hard to imagine a world where like RAM is just accepted and loved like it should
Where
be.
people actually do ram on.
Yeah, it's really just it hurts knowing that you can't even picture this world.
It's yeah, for real. But to talk about like the actual song.
Yeah. I was waiting.
Okay,
You have a lot to say about this.
I do. It's like the best song on the album. Why have we been talking about bullshit for 10 minutes? This is the best song on Ram.
on this song.
I hate this. Fuck. Okay.
Conspiracy
Genuinely great fucking song. Like it's a sonic journey. It like keeps going. There's all sorts of experimentation. I love how goofy it gets. It really does feel contemporary in that way. How a lot of this album is like uncompromising and how musically badass it is, but it also isn't afraid to like dress it up in some goofiness with the fucking like weird butter pie shit. It's almost, it's
Yeah.
got like fucking like contemporary Bill Wirtz like goofy indie
Yeah,
pop
literally.
shit vibes, you know? Like Shit. But, yeah, you know, there's reflections of Abbey Road here. There's reflections of that, like, big, huge final, like, B-side, medley that was done there. He's still, like, right off the heels of writing shit for the Beatles, so he's at the best song, like, the songwriting peak of his career. That second bit, the way it comes in and kind of feels like the fucking intro to a British stop-motion show about, like, a rude wildebeest. That fucking... Like, it hits, and you just feel it.
Yeah, the way it changes from so melancholic to just, like, this military polka is awesome.
For real! And then you have that chant of hands across the water. Like, it's almost Lennon-esque. Oh, God. I hate to give the man credit. That. I know, but, like, Lennon... The best parts of John's musical leanings were, I think, influenced by Paul. So, but it feels like kind of a Merry Christmas, war is over, kind of like fucking give peace a chance. Everybody come together, say some shit, and it's great. So many interesting melodies. The way it, like, breaks into that one section that isn't even repeated. Fucking... I can't remember the lyrics, but...
I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
It's like that last melody in the song where it's like, give a little bip and do-boo-doo-doo-doo. If you listen to it,
oh,
you
yeah.
how hard it hits.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. I don't know. I loved it.
Be a gypsy, villain, and get around. You know that?
Yeah, that. How the fuck do you remember that?
Because I was watching all the lyrics. I spent most of my time, like, decoding the lyrics. I was like, what do these songs mean? What is the meaning of Ram? What is Paul trying to tell me, you know?
I feel that.
Yeah, I got into it.
Good. Yeah, it's good to get into. And, like, I'm a little scared to look up the meaning of Uncle Admiral Halsey, because usually... when you look up the meaning to, like, these Beatles songs that sound super esoteric and weird, it's always like, yeah, I was just fucking around. I was just saying shit.
Yeah, we were just fucking around and having a good chuckle in the
having
studio.
a good laugh in the studio by the recording amps.
Literally, though, it's like, oh, fuck, I spent, like, you know, the majority of my young adulthood thinking this is something really important.
I got a tattoo of this on my forehead! You're telling me Ringo farted and people thought it sounded like fucking Strawberry Fields Forever? Like, But yeah, Uncle Admiral Halsey, it's a wonderful musical experiment. Awesome, great, goes to all these places, really fusion-esque. And it leads into Smile Away super well, I think. Because, well, Albert Uncle Halsey... Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey... feels like a battle? It feels like a fight with the darkness that eventually you win. Smile Away is at the end of Zootopia when they put that bitch sheep in prison and everybody just celebrates and has that big dance party with Shakira.
Yeah.
And she'd be shaking her elk ass and it's hot and it makes you think a lot of things.
Makes you think a lot of thoughts you didn't really have before going to see Zootopia.
I know.
But we're kind of like lurking, you know?
There's a definitive before and after in my life.
Definitely, yeah.
It's sad how sheeps are depicted in this way. You know,
That's
they've
true.
fallen so far since the days of Ram.
Yeah, and the Rams are all cops.
True.
Sheep's trifling ass bitch mares.
I don't remember Zootopia. Did they actually make the officers pigs?
Did they? I genuinely can't. I actually know that Ram were cops. Like,
that's fucked up.
Rams were cops, and fucking, I don't know if there was a pig. Yeah, the main fucking cop was a ram!
Yeah. Rams have such, like, anarchist red pill energy, like, fuck you, I'm a ram,
They have go out to the fucking countryside and install a crypto mining facility in your basement.
Yes.
And, like, they out here depicting them as the fucking bitches putting the knees on our necks. It's terrible, I hate it. Anyways, Smile Away... another song that is, like, almost disturbingly contemporary. Like, holy fuck. That synth. On Smile Away.
On Wee Ba 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 Ba.
On Wee Ba Ba Ba.
That's what the majority of the sounds that come to my mind when I think of Smile Away is. A wee ba 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 woo ba, a wee ba 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 woo ba, and he's going crazy at the end. You know?
Yeah, I remember that. A wee ba waba woo ba. I felt that. Definitely had the vibe of, like, the final episode of the last sitcom ever written. You know? It was
I think
very...
he's actually saying something there.
Is he he's saying a wee ba waba woo ba.
I'm pretty sure he was saying something that's not just a weeba wabba wooba.
I mean, if you're saying he was emotionally saying something, then, like, yeah, of course. But,
Do
like,
you want me to go to, like, the lyrics? We could check it out.
okay, let's hear. If
check
when it's a
out what he
weeba
was
wabba
saying.
wooba, you're gonna look so dumb in front of
I will-
all these
yeah, I will
people,
look
in front of everyone.
Too many people.
I will look really dumb, but I don't care, because
I'm
it's
just,
worth
like,
it. I
pointing
need
at
to know
Savvy.
if he's actually just saying weeba wabba wooba.
All these people. All right, is he saying a weeba wabba wooba?
Where's the Spotify epic lyrics?
Just look up like fucking Alexa. What would Alexa have to say about this? What am I gonna say? Is Paul McCartney? Why did I think that would be an answer to this problem? Alexa, shut up! Alexa, stop! I'm sorry, everybody. I just turned on everyone's Alexas. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're listening to this on headphones.
It's a wake-up call. It's a reminder to ram on.
It's a reminder to Alexa, ram on! Alexa, stop!
I don't know if he's actually saying anything.
She can't do that on this device, guys. The fucking city slickers, man. Bezos
So
city
far,
slicker
civilization-
property.
Oh, he is. I was right.
Okay,
I was
what
right.
is-
I was
what the
right.
fuck is he saying?
He's like mumbling. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that.
What does he know how to do?
I don't know. Maybe smile.
Oh, that's so sad.
Maybe that's like a different perspective. Like the chorus is like, and he's just like, buddy, smile away. Come on now.
Oh no.
It's sad because he says he doesn't know how to do it at the start, and then, during the song he's like, I'm learning how to do that.
Yeah.
There's hope, but at
There-
the very end, the last
Yeah.
verse, he's like, I don't know how to do that. He never
Yeah.
learned. There's no progress, no growth is made.
Well, that's sad.
It's very bad. Yeah.
That's
But,
very
it's a reflection
Lenin-esque.
of how we ended up.
That
We
is
didn't ram on,
Lenin-esque.
and now look where we are. It's
Okay, well, I don't want to.
2022,
Yeah, it's a
and
warning.
Afghanistan has fallen.
For real.
Yeah.
God
He
damn it.
was, yeah.
Smile Away hid the key on how to stop that Taliban, and we just fucking let it.
It absolutely did.
God damn it. Fuck.
Uh,
Well, that was a disturbing note, but that is the end of side 1. And the song that follows it up, immediately debuting on side 2, Heart of the Country, is almost a
Yes.
prescription
Yeah.
to the problems of Smile Away. But considering that we are here at the midpoint of the record, I do think it's important to do the traditional midpoint of the podcast exercise that we are going to be doing on every single episode for the next 2 to 7 decades on Ramcast, or excuse me, Regular
yeah.
Leaves, which is, of course, we're going to do a little men tier list. So, as we will do on every episode henceforth, we will be ranking the best little men. So, we have here a directory of just like we did a poll. Around 400, 700,000 people. These were just the top brackets among 50,000 submissions. So, of course, right here we have... I'm not going to go, because as we're going through this list, you'll hear their names a million times, so I won't bother naming them all. But, first and foremost, how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to go from top up, or do you want to go from up bottom? Or do you want to go, like, in order of how it is in the bottom?
I feel like we should go from D tier up.
I agree. Okay. I'm going to submit a proposal to the board that we immediately put Tempest in D tier.
I agree.
Immediately.
he's a
Like,
good little man.
also, that's F. It's F tier. Let's be honest. Tempest, terrible little man. Terrible little man. He makes the worst mapping videos, and I've never seen one. So, Tempest.
Me
bottom
neither.
of the
And I
list.
watch a lot of mapping videos.
Are we changing D to just F?
Yeah, D is just F. D is
Yeah.
F. I don't believe in
We gotta be honest with ourselves.
towing lines. I believe in honesty. I believe in ramming on. I don't believe in towing lines. I believe in
Yeah.
extremities.
This is what
Yeah.
Paul would have
D
wanted.
is just like, like you're not good, but you're not bad.
But like you'll do. But like no, fuck that. F
No,
tier
you won't
for
do.
Tempest. So, oh god, what are some other F tiers? Let's hear, Sabby, what do you think about an F tier here? What's an F tier little man?
F tier. I'd say Bob the Minion. Honestly, he's not that good of a little
Yeah.
man.
Ooh.
Definitely.
So that's my take. If,
I
I'm not ready
agree
to hear
that
it.
that Bob the Minion is like a lower tier little man, but like when I think little men, as much as I hate it, minions are one of the first things that I think. Like minions
Really?
are, I do. Like they're not good, but they're little men. Like when you think historical leaders, you think Hitler. You do. You think like Hitler. You think fucking like Augustus Caesar. I was gonna say Adolf Caesar. You think all these, like, terrible things, and that's not good, but they just are, like, the ultimate version of that. So I'm going to propose to the board that we move Bob the Minion to a C tier, little man.
I'm rejecting that proposition.
Do you really think that Tempest
What's
and
the
Bob the Minion
counter-argument?
are the... Yeah, what's the counter-argument?
That he inflicts fear and pain amongst millions, and that he doesn't deserve
Are you
any
saying that
spot.
the Gremlin doesn't?
The
Something
Gremlin
tells me
has
you're not
upside.
gonna move the Gremlin to like
But
anywhere
Listen,
below
listen.
A tier.
I have a lot to say about the Gremlins.
I
Okay?
know you do. That's why, like,
I have a lot to say about the
Gremlins.
Gremlins. I have an argument prepared.
I'm trying to have
You
some
know,
sort of
it's-
ideological consistency. To
It's
this.
not. It's going to be objective. I'm not going to let my bias shine through in this tier list.
Ooh, oh my god, I can't believe I'm moving Bob to F tier right now. But okay, fine.
He's at the top of F tier. You know, you
Yeah,
fought
he's
hard,
top
you rammed
F.
on.
All right, yeah.
This
he's
is
top
why
F
the
tier,
this is
that's
why
fine.
the D tier list exists for Bob.
Well, that's why I think Bob should be C.
I think there's a lot of great contenders who belong in C who would just fucking knock Bob off his rock.
That's true. Okay. Do you have a...
I like that we're only 2 in and we're getting into fights about it.
It's like heated debate.
Well, yeah, there's a lot to discuss here. I want to make sure that we
There's
have
a
a
lot to
fucking
discuss
accurate
here,
assessment. All right, well, you know, to split things up here, I'm going to make a submission to S tier real quick. S tier, Glep.
Glep.
Glep is an S tier, little man. Like, he represents the quintessential idea of a little man. Like, he's small,
True.
he's a little gloobly boobly, like, he's cute,
And he
but
makes
there's a
funny
bit of a
noises.
Nostalgia critic.
He watches a Nostalgia
makes
Critic on
funny
his
noise.
tablet. He make funny noise. Little men gotta be making funny noises. If little men don't make funny noises, they're like an automatic B tier. Like he he sits on a fucking like tattered beanbag all day and all day in a wizard hat and watches like King Cobra fucking like Casket King videos on a iPad. S tier. He's the best. And he's cute, and he's like one of those. So, another F tier. Sarah, do you have a proposal?
I don't know.
Are we out of F tiers already?
Maybe the other RAM reviewer, you know, since he's our competition.
He is our competition, this RAM reviewer whose name I don't remember at all.
But he's very little.
He's very
You know, you
little.
can't deny
He
it.
is very
He's
little.
little and we're big, you know. We're like, it's not any praise, you know, to put him like a mid tier.
That's right.
You know, he's little compared to us and our great RAM themed podcast.
That's true. But I do think
His
that,
ambitions
like,
are little.
the effort to ram on deserves some sort of recognition. I'm gonna say C tier because he's a little man.
Okay.
He's got a goofy face.
We'll
on,
plop
and he's
him in
going
C
like, "This
tier.
is my little ram." Like,
Yeah.
passion is important in a little man too. Like, little men should always have like one goofy activity that they're always super into. You know, I think that's an important facet. Like, Curious George with being a mischievous little trickster, fucking Glep with his thing. Like, they all have a little thing that they're into. So, that's like a really important little man trait. He exemplifies that. C tier. I'm gonna propose that we put Curious George immediate S tier.
Yeah,
Really?
I agree.
I
He
think
is the
so.
little man.
He's the little man that brought little men
would
to
say
a generation.
I would say he's number one, honestly.
Wow.
Hot take.
That's
A bold statement.
that is a fucking flavor blasted statement, dude.
What
Yeah.
can I say? I like monkeys. I like little man. I think, you know, he exemplifies both of them very well.
You're right. I don't know if he's going to be top of S tier though, but he is S tier because he exemplifies like the trickster within that energy. There's
Yeah,
a Curious George.
he's got
in
real
all of us.
tricks.
It's a tough competition.
He's got real trickster energy. Come out and go, a Google, like that kind of vibe.
Yeah, and the paint.
And the
with the
man with
paint.
the yellow hat just has to deal with it.
He's
He
curious.
just
Has
has
to
accept it
fucking
and
be
deal with it.
cucked. He's just
Yes.
sitting there being a little beta bitch fucking cuck, not mining crypto.
And the monkey comes out and he's like, shits on the carpet.
He takes a shit and he wipes it all over the place and he fucks his wife and he goes home. Like, that's...
The man with the yellow hat was very upset by George's actions.
That's all he gets. That's the
Yeah.
extent. He gets.
That's
He
the
doesn't even get to
extent.
say it himself. He doesn't even get to express to George what he did. He has a narrated disagreement with George. What a bitch. What a fuck.
Very beta.
Okay.
Very
With
beta.
that being said,
I'd like to make a submission for
let's hear it.
A or S tier. The garden gnome, classic little man, protectors of the night.
I gotta tell you, you're right. You make a good point. They are like classic little men, but I would make the point they're classic little men, much like minions are.
Really? No, the gnome has so much more staying power than the minion. He has been around for hundreds of years.
So has genocide. Gnomes are Look up garden gnome. You get the most like tacky ass boomer shit on the fucking planet.
Well, you know.
You're gonna get like a gnome in a bikini and like a gnome with a gun and a gnome like fucking his wife and like giving him a middle finger with glasses and yeah, drive by my house and look at my fucking like gnomes fucking.
These are all sinners. These are people who do not follow the good book and have merely taken our symbolism and abused it. Okay?
I know, but like that's what like fucking good-natured moms be saying about Catholicism. It's like, oh, it doesn't matter what the church is doing. I still like it. I believe in its good side. Like.
You know, someone could say the same thing about Ram.
Okay. Alright, turn the cameras off for a second. The fuck was that?
No, what was that? Was that not good?
No.
No, what?
Alright, listen. I believe
the recording's off?
No, yeah, no, I turned it all off.
Oh, okay.
It's all gone and over. Listen, okay. I believe in second chances, but not because I want to. Because I abide by a certain set of ideas. That have been bestowed to me, so I'm gonna follow that and give you that second chance. But I don't want to hear that again.
Understood. I'm so sorry. That was really out of line. That was really out of line.
No, I understand. You know that.
I just get really angry sometimes.
I know. I mean, yeah, you ram on, and I understand that. But like, just watch your mouth.
Gotcha.
Okay. So the Catholic Church.
Just said few, you know.
Few.
Yeah, you know, I was worried that it was going to be the end of Raking the Leaves, you know?
We already have, like, podcasts destroying, like, Gus and Eddie.
20 years. 20 years worth of decisions.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared when, like, one of us makes a misstep like that. I have the next 3 decades boxed out for daily Raking the Leaves recordings, so if we
I've made plans, you know, I've cancelled 3 decades worth of appointments.
Guys, I'm so sorry, you know, like, how do you think I feel? I'm the one who has all my life savings invested in the Ram merchandise, you know? I have so many Raking the Leaves t-shirts.
You put in all your fucking Dogecoin into producing, like, the vinyls and the hats and the fucking the cassette tapes, like the holiday cassette tapes that we all recorded. Like, I understand that you have a lot staked in here, so I'm looking out for you. I'm also looking out for our boy Gibby, who I think is at least an A-tier little man.
Yeah, definitely A-tier. Move him right on up there,
right there where he belongs. Okay,
I think he would be S-tier if he was smaller.
That legit, like if Gibby stayed season 1 Gibby throughout the entire, if he like made an unholy deal with a Wiccan merchant to be tiny forever, he'd be an S tier. But he grows up and he becomes Sad World Noah Monk, which is not a little man at all.
Yeah, no, that's a big
boy, dude. So now Gibby, however, I think did make that Wiccan deal because he's still a little man.
Yeah,
he's still as little as he was by Carly. All right, yeah, Gibby is A tier. Now the gnomes, which almost caused the end of Raking the Leaves, but
we'll put them in C tier. Well, can we agree to disagree and put them in C tier?
B tier is a little low.
Honestly, I'm gonna say B tier for the gnomes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm saying B. I think the very middle.
Because they're bad quality little men, but they are little men, and they're not
little
as bad as
minions. The gnomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I think it's time we make a move on Argy from the Jarcast.
Oh yeah.
Argy the Corgi. That's like, ooh, he's a great little man, dude.
Yeah.
Because he farts all the time. He's got a goofy big smile on his face. You can tell like he's constantly got Raymond in his head. He's got like rabbit ears. That's an A-tier little man.
Yeah, he's got that Ram energy.
I would argue that the Corgi surpasses Gibby in little man status.
You know what?
Because he has more little men activities, I think.
Yeah, like Gibby again, like Gibby's little manhood expired. Like there's a cap on that. So yeah, Argy A tier, but above Gibby. So going through here, we still got a lot left. What do we think about the boss baby? I say F tier.
I say F tier. He's too
I
sentient.
say I don't know. F tier.
He's too sentient to be a little man.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
Like, he's a boss. He's just an.
He's a
adult.
fucking boss. He's literally a big man.
Yeah,
Like-
I sometimes don't
He is a
take
big
into
man.
all the qualifications of being a little man into this.
Like, being a little man begs a certain level of unsentience. Like, you can't have
Yes.
too much going on. Like, a lot of your thoughts need to just be...
Yeah,
like,
he
that's...
doesn't got that.
He's thinking all about, like, alright, quarterly reports. Alright, shooting my
he's a
co-stars.
big- Yeah, he's a big man. He's like big tech. He's like big pharma. He's the
yeah,
boss baby.
I forgot
Yeah.
Boss Baby fucking killed someone in the canon.
He did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, F tier. F tier for Boss Baby. Alright, moving on.
F tier, but is he worse than Tempest? Or is he better than Tempest?
No, he's better than
Well,
Tempest.
Tempest never killed anyone. So.
That's true. Tempest never killed anyone.
Yeah, but boss baby at least looks like a little man. You know, he's got the stature.
That's right. Alright.
Is he,
He is-
is he,
he is
is
a
he giving
little-
like a
he's a
little
man,
finger
but
gun
with-
in that photo? Is
I
he
think
like
he's
showing us
flipping
what
us
to
off.
come?
He's telling you when to come.
No, he's
Now.
telling us what to come. He's giving the finger gun like he's like, yeah, you know what I did.
I took your shit in my pants. It's stinky. Give me a rash. 'Cause I'm a baby. Alright,
Okay.
he's worse than Bob the Minion.
I
better
want to talk
than
about the
Tempest.
Gremlins.
Yeah, now here's the thing. The Gremlins have sort of formed a bit of a caucus, a bit of a voting block in the Little Men, because we both have the Gremlins and the Mogwais.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they're very different, and I will
That's
explain
true.
why.
But, okay.
Listen, let me present the floor with my opening arguments.
Let's hear it.
So, you know, Mogwai, they get a bad rap, okay? Because the Gremlins are out here and they're causing a lot of destruction, they're causing a lot of chaos, and I just want to let, you know, all of you liberals know that there is a difference between Mogwai and Gremlin, okay? Mogwai are cute and cuddly, and they are safe and they love you. Gremlins, they're a bit of bad boys. They're you know, causing a ruckus and a bit of a you know, they go out on the town and they do bad things, you know, and I don't think they should have voting rights. Wait, who are we talking about again? But anyway, the Gremlins,
You're making a good point either way.
the Gremlins often get lumped in with the Mogwai. Okay?
That's true.
And
You
that's
know,
I don't want to bring the Mogwai down.
I
because
feel
of the
like
Gremlins.
if the Gremlins just tried to be more like the Mogwai, like the Mogwai set a good example for the Gremlins. They go out and they find work. They don't mooch. The Mogwai, they attempt. They're
they
functioning
loot,
members.
they riot, reminds me of
the
someone.
Gremlins loot and riot, and they're discordantly, and they aren't focused on progress. Now, if they would just like fucking put a suit on, fucking like put their name out there, get some interviews, and like actually clean their room instead of like all this fucking goofy like hard time shit, we may see some movement in the Gremlin Mogwai community. So, you know, I'm not a fan of GLM, I gotta tell you guys.
Anyway, Mogwai S tier, Gremlin F tier.
I agree. I agree with that. Still not as bad as Tempest though. Fuck Tempest.
Yeah, no.
Fuck Tempest. We all agree here on Raking the Leaves. Fuck Tempest. Piece
We
of
all
shit.
agree.
Fucking hate his videos. He's a terrible human being.
That is the mantra of this podcast, other than Ramon.
Other than Ramon, fuck Tempest. That's what Paul says. That's what we say. We echo his sentiment.
Okay, so moving away from, you know, racially biased Gremlins conversations, the Linux guy.
Yeah, BDB.com, man. He is a great little man. And nothing exemplifies a lack of sentience more than him. Because you go to his website, what do you see? You see, you guys like skeet shooting? Come on here, see my skeet shooting. You guys want to see a yearbook page from 1952? Come see a yearbook page from 1952. I like Linux. Like, no sentience. Not a single thought in that brain. A tier.
I don't know. I feel like he has enough sentience to use and program a Linux machine, but yet not enough to realize that no one wants to visit the website. So it's
I don't think he programmed the Linux machine. I think he found it.
I think he just likes the word Linux.
You think so?
It's kind of like, it's a fun word.
Yeah, you know what?
You
I
think
would
it's
too
like
if
the
I were a little
penguin?
man.
Kind of sounds like a mapper name.
Linux.
Linux. Verit. Veribus. Linux.
Linux.
Alright, put him in F tier.
Alright, yeah, fuck him. F tier, worse than Tempest.
Because he's not that little. He's not little either. He has little man attributes, but like...
I'm putting him next to the Ram guy, because, like, I love him. I love him.
All right,
But
we'll put him
he's
next
not
to
a
the
great
Ram
little
guy.
man. Alright.
No, he's an okay.
Let's have a conversation about Toad. We need to talk about Toad,
Okay.
my favorite school
We need-
shooting thriller. So, Toad is like a classic little man, but he doesn't do a lot for me, you know?
Me neither.
He's arguably one of the
he doesn't have
first
too
little
many.
men.
He doesn't really have anything going on. You know, he's got some like. He's got
He
some
doesn't
little
excite
man
me.
attributes, but you know, he doesn't
Yeah.
have the full. Yeah, he doesn't have the full.
Yeah.
Not a full
think-
course meal.
Yeah, the
Literally.
qualifications for a little man is that they are little, they're funny looking, and that they do little funny things. Like they have a little funny activity, like they sound funny, or they do a little like dance, or they like watch, you know, Nostalgia Critic on their iPad.
Yeah, they go...
Little men, and you need to hit like at least 2 of these qualifications.
He's not a great little man. Like, he bores me. And if he's got enough sentience to be a fucking captain, to hold, like, military prestige, C tier.
I don't know. I feel like he's got the funny voice down, he's got the height down, he does
You're
little funny
right.
jumps,
You're
but he doesn't
right.
do anything else funny. He doesn't do any
Yeah.
other little
I think
funny
B
men
tier.
thing.
Yeah, I'm thinking B tier worse than the nose. That's where my mind is going right now.
Yeah, he's worse than those.
Okay.
I feel like
We're in
he is
lockstep.
like just a gnome.
The man's a gnome.
He's a bit of a gnome.
He literally has the color scheme. Red and white and, like, fucking Nordic white
So,
skin. Like, perfect.
Here's another one.
Aryan sensuality.
Here's another hard one. The disgusting slob.
Revolting slob.
Oh, revolting slob.
Revolting
My
slob.
apologies. My
I
deepest
feel like
apologies.
he could be described as a big man.
Mhm.
But I still get some little man vibes from him. He feels like the little man who makes all the rules. He's the king of the little men.
Yeah, I feel like he's sort of a fallen little man. You know, he used to be the little man. You know, a bit of a curious George.
Yeah.
He's
But he
definitely
was
like
cancelled, all that stuff
he's definitely
came out.
yeah, he's been cancelled.
Yeah,
He's
he's
fallen like
fallen
you
into
know his
alcoholism and
reputation,
drug
his like
abuse.
physique, his everything. You know, he's turned into a revolting slob. But you know,
Yeah.
you can still sense that you know the youthfulness of the little man within him is still you know there's still bits of it in there. But you know, it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to look for
It's
it. He's really
smaller.
he's a shell of his former self.
Let me
I
say,
feel as if like he's the Brendan Fraser of the little man world. Like,
so when are we going
he
to
is
get that
clearly-
Brendan Fraser bump, though? Because Brendan Fraser's on a redemption arc right now. Are we ever going to get a redemption arc from...
Maybe,
slob?
maybe. Well, before
Oh, you know, this
pre
is a daily
redemption arc.
podcast, so you know maybe tomorrow. he'll
That
have a
is true.
redemption
Maybe
arc.
tomorrow we'll have some
Tomorrow's like
news.
little man tier list. You know, he'll be placed differently.
Exactly. If we can get even a little, like, by next week, once we've got 7 of these in the bag, if he can go from B to A, that's movement, that's human growth, that's Ramadan.
That's true.
So,
true.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep him on C for now, the best of
Yeah.
C.
The best
I
of
think.
C.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Best
because
of
like
C.
just like Brendan, like even though he's fallen, a lot of his star power still saves him, like his former star power.
Literally, like,
You
people
know, he can still
know.
get tables
Yeah.
at restaurants because that's Brendan Fraser. He's
Yeah,
in the
he was-
Mummy.
oh,
You know,
the
like-
mummy, Brendan Fraser, the mummy. Like,
yeah,
everybody knows
exactly. No one watched Encino Man 2 or like fucking George of the Jungle.
that. These are Brendan Fraser films, apparently.
You see?
Well, speaking of C, I want to have a conversation about Mr. Gray Matter over here from Ben 10.
Gray Matter. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna propose
He's
that we
the-
get a
he's-
C tier.
Yeah,
Good
he's
here.
the most sentient. He's
He's
too
literally
sentient. He's
very
told
sentient.
things that he's like.
Because he's just Ben 10.
God,
He's
gotta-
intelligent.
He's got to be F tier.
Yeah, no, he has to be F tier because
F
he's too
tier.
He is
sentient.
F tier.
Well, he's not as rowdy and ladylike and proper
Mm-hmm.
as the Gremlins. So, you know, they're uppity and they like to
And
make
I'd say
noise,
he's
they
he's
shout.
not big like the boss baby.
I would actually like to make a reproposition towards the gremlin himself, considering that he is a little man and he makes funny noises and he does many little men things, like smoking cigarettes and drinking cola. I think that moves him up a little, because he may be a destructive force, but he follows all of the tenets of being a proper little man, and I think we have to give him
That's
credit
true,
for
but if
that.
we're gonna do
What
that,
does
then what do we
Bob?
do about the minion? Like, the minion follows every single tenant, but we just don't like him.
That's true.
So, like,
That's true. I don't know. I feel like this is why they have, 2 senators for each state. Maybe we need like another one of us.
maybe we need an antiquated, like, fucked up voting system from the olden days for the little men.
I just think we need more opinions.
I agree. Well, that is, of course, like, this is, like, the start of a franchise, so we have, like, 1,000 more episodes.
Yeah, they have chances to move up.
They have chances.
Yeah.
So for now, I think, yeah,
Many-
this is all, like, this is round
I-
one, guys. This is round
Yeah.
one.
I think the Gremlin and the Minion have potential, honestly.
Now, I want to have a conversation about Beaker.
Beaker.
Beaker, if this was a Little Men polycule, it would all be centered around Beaker. Beaker is like the mommy dom of this whole group. Beaker is the quintessential little man. He has everything that makes a little, like, when you think little man, you think me, 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 me. You think specifically of, like, poking up from corners. Nobody pokes out of corners more than Beaker. He owns the corner. And he's cornered the corner market, dare I say. He's the original little man, and even though, like, some people have established, like, grandiose, like, bigger castles and foundations upon, like, the ground that he laid, he broke that ground. None of that would have been established. There couldn't be fucking Beaker walked so Glep could run. So I'm right now gonna put him, like, behind, like, honestly ahead of Glep as the #1 little man. What do you guys think?
I can agree with that reasonably.
Don't know if I can agree with that. I feel like Glep, Beaker set down a industry foundation, but Glep approved upon it.
Glep. Alright, you know what? You're right. You're right.
I feel like
I
the whole
think we
Glep
have to
thing,
remember
it's
that
a bit
Glep
of-
is such a newcomer to this.
Yeah, it's a bit of recency bias in my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't
honestly,
think
yeah.
Glep-
Like, we're all been exposed to Beaker for decades. Glep is new on the scene. He's only been around for like barely 2 years. He's improving along upon all these foundations, but there's plenty of time for Glep to fall off. Glep does not have as strong a foundation. What if Glep turns out to be like? What if they do the trope that, like, actually Glep the whole time was the smartest of all of them? What if they do that?
Yeah, it's a bit of a risky investment.
If that happens, that sinks Glep down to the bottom tier.
That's true. Well, that's why this tier list updates.
That's true.
I think Glep holds the #1 spot for
This
now,
is a
but there is a
dynamic
lot
tier
of
list, much like the dynamic map featured on LTFE.
Yeah.
So I think we're
Exactly.
gonna move Beaker right ahead of Curious George and right behind Glep. How do you guys feel about that?
I agree. I'm feeling that. That's how I have him right now. So, I feel like since we're riding the Gleb train, we should have a conversation about the Bleblies. The Bleblies are great little men, but they're like the Gremlins, where they tick every single little man box, but they're uppity and aggressive, and they represent political ideologies and ways of going about social change that I don't personally agree with. So, as we are denouncing GLM here, I would also like to denounce BLM, that being Blebly Lives Matter. So, what do we say about the Bleblies?
With the tenets we've laid down for this tier list are, are very pro-democracy, anti-anarchy, pro-little man tier list. I don't know.
I'm gonna say
It's hard to say where he falls.
The Bleblies are such good little men. B tier. Bottom of B tier.
Me too.
Okay. So okay, we have a little bit of a hand puppet caucus here. We got the yeast puppets from Good Eats. We got Ubi, and we got the general concept of a hand puppet. I'm gonna say Ubi is fucking S tier.
Yeah.
Ubi is like the make a hand puppet with your fucking hand right now. Tell me that isn't the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life.
It's pretty funny.
Tell me that isn't like fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Look at that little asshole. Look at that little fucking goober right there. He's about to fuck some shit up, man. So I now, like, we put both. Like, Ubi, Ubi behind Beaker, general concept of a hand puppet right behind Ubi.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Now with that being said, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. I mean, he's
I'm gonna say I don't know. All right, let's go over Joe Rogan real quick.
Okay, let's talk about
He's
Joe Rogan.
kind of big. Even though he's a little man, he's also on the
big,
bigger
but he's
side.
stout.
Like
He's like Gibby.
he just makes the weight class like Gibby
That's true. You're right.
and the Linux man.
Just barely.
There's a lot of characters
just
in
like
this who
the
just
Linux
make
man.
the weight class, but we still accept them.
Yeah. So I do
That's-
think he has
that's
the right to be
progressive,
on
you
this
know,
list. Yeah,
that's the
I mean, we
progressive
are about
agenda
progress
right
here.
there.
Unlike GLM and BLM, we're about progress. So And we're not getting that in regressive ways. We truly march forward, and we're pacifists.
With tier lists.
Ram on.
We ram on here. Man,
So,
BLM
yes,
just
Joe
has
Rogan,
to ram on.
He makes funny little noises, and he does funny little things, but he's pretty big, and he's also pretty stupid.
He's
so,
real.
I don't,
Well, I mean, that fits it perfect. He does funny little things. He makes funny little noises, and he's stupid.
Yeah, so that
Like-
actually moves him up quite a bit.
But he's not. He is also. He does a lot of fucked shit. He's evil.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
I was gonna say, like, does injecting yourself with ivermectin count as, like, a little man thing?
That's a little man thing. That's a little
That
funny
is a bit of
thing.
a
That's
little
like a
man
hand
thing.
puppet coming up and going
Yeah.
moop moop and like taking your bracelet off and running away with it. Like that's on that same tier. As
I
him
feel
taking
like Gleb
ivermectin.
definitely takes ivermectin.
Gleb is all ivermectin. That's what happens to you if you take too much ivermectin.
You become glad.
You become Gleb, man. You watch Nostalgia Critic all day on your iPad. I'm
I propose Joe Rogan be an A tier, honestly, behind Gibby.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. That's A tier behind Gibby. Alright, good call. Okay. So we are at our final 3 here. I have a favorite.
3 legs.
I'm gonna say, we are at our 3 legs, baby. 3 legs.
3 legs.
Our man, Leprechaun, Mr. Leprechaun right here.
S
The
tier.
general concept of a leprechaun.
Number 1.
Okay, I agree. He is like an S tier little man, but dude,
He is an S tier.
Sentient.
So devious and scary.
that's true. Look at this little. He's about to do some shit, man.
I would, like, not trust him with my
He's
possessions.
a trickster. He's
I would
got
not
his
trust
pot of
like
gold.
having him behind me. I feel like the
No,
minute you
definitely
blink,
not.
you're gonna blink, and he's gonna be like right in front of you. Like just fucking.
Yeah.
I'm
just
honest.
how it is.
I'm scared to blink looking at him.
This is what it's like in the country, though. In my country.
That's true. I mean, you have the most experience with the general concept.
I
of
do, and
leprechaun,
that's
so-
why I proudly state that he should be number 1.
They're really scary to me. I don't know why.
Well, you know, little
Just-
men
I like-
sometimes are scary.
the-
Like their
the
mission.
thought
I
of,
like
like,
how mischievous he is.
The
He,
thought of, like,
says he's-
Bigfoot or a Loch Ness Monster does nothing for me, but, like, the thought of, like, this 4-foot little leprechaun man roaming around the Irish countryside, like, pulling tricks on people, that's scary, dude.
It's
I don't want
terrifying.
that.
That's cool as
But
hell.
like Sabby, that's cool as hell.
You're fucked up, Savvy. You're fucked,
You're
man.
fucked, man. I was about to
It's
say
been
like you have to
normalized.
live
It's
under
been
threat of
normalized,
that
dude,
all day,
you know?
like fucking like Palestinians.
Yeah, it's been
under threat
normalized.
of
That's how your
Israeli
ancestors
rockets.
lived! And you telling me you haven't forgot those, like, primal instincts of, like, you know, being tricked by a leprechaun? You know,
That's
it's really
true.
funny
I
how
feel
he's
it in
like,
my
I got a
bones."
pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, but guess what? You can never get to the end of the rainbow. He's tricked you. He's a little trickster. He's a trickster within.
Sorry, I feel like we brought out
I
some
rest my
trauma and
case.
Savvy.
Yeah, I feel like Savvy's really making a case for the leprechaun.
Okay,
There was
so we're
a
gonna
lot
put
in
the
that rainbow. You follow the rainbow, but there's no ending.
Where does the
It's
leprechaun
top tier.
belong
I
behind?
I know from experience.
I think it's bottom S tier.
Bottom S tier.
I can concede there.
Mm.
Cause like Mogwai and bottom S tier, I think. Cause he's still S, but like not Mogwai S, not Curious George S. He's still evil.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's very I would say top of A, if anything. Because he's evil. He's evil.
Right. But Argy isn't evil. We have him on A tier. Gibby's
No, but it's
bastard.
not evil people going on A tier. It's just that he has so many little man properties, yet he's also evil that, like, I feel like that just moves him out of S. Like, if you look at S tier right now, these are all good people. These
You're
are all
right.
very kind-hearted souls.
It feels like the ongoing worry of a leprechaun could halt you from ramming on. Like, that could be, like, how am I supposed to live my best life out here in the countryside when there's a fake rainbow leading to nowhere?
That's how it is
Yeah.
in the country. That's how our ancestors lived.
Consistently, like, you're just trying to, you know, ram on and live your best
Back
life.
to nature.
Rams.
Savvy, you've made a strong case. You've filibustered, but
Uh-huh.
I think you're outvoted. We gotta have him top of A, above Argy.
Top of A. Okay.
Oh, top of A, top of the morning. Alright, we have 2 remaining little men here. We have Dobby, and we have the Yeast Mites. Which one do you guys want to do first?
Yeast mites.
Yeast mites, yeah.
I fucking love the Yeast Mites. The
I like
Yeast
them
Mites are like the quintessential little man to me. They, again, much like Beaker, they own the corners. They're the corner creeps. They are the corner creeps. They pop out. They pop out. They be popping out and they go, me, 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 me. That's their whole job. That's all they do in the world is pop out and go me, 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 me. Like, it's a franchise of little men. Good Eats is like a franchise of little men. It's the Little Men cinematic universe. There's all sorts of little men there. And I think the Yeast Mites represent, like, that entire culture as a whole. I'm gonna vote S tier. I gotta tell you, man. I love the fucking Yeast Mites. What do you guys think?
My vote lies wherein, are they a destructive force?
They are a rambunctious force. I would say they're destructive as
just like
Curious
pure
George
energy.
is destructive. Like, they have chaos energy, but they don't have destructive energy because they, like, their whole fucking move is to be yeast. Like, they start bread. They create bread, which, you know, Jesus Christ ate at the Last Supper. Like, they are the essence of creation, but creation is chaotic. Creation is random. Stars are born without fucking asking you for permission to explode into reality. Are they bad little men?
S tier too.
All right, S tier. I'm gonna, yeah, I'll keep them bottom S. All right, guys, we have reached the final little man of our christening little men list.
You know, potentially the most controversial one at that.
Potentially the most controversial. Potentially the most internationally renowned little man. Dobby.
A house elf.
What do we say about Dobby?
I feel like
J.K. Rowling's principal creation.
I feel like Dobby... I feel like I just need to get this off my mind. This doesn't have anything to do with the tier list or where he should be placed, but Dobby is just like a little submissive cat girl in a weird elf boy's body.
I
Like,
agree.
he just
Just
knows
like
little-
me. Just like me.
I just hate him. I really don't like him. I don't like how, like,
Hate him?
he gives off this, like, oh, hello, sir.
He does. Like, look at his eyes. Like,
Please don't
look, that
beat
is a.
me.
Those are eyes ready to suck a dick. Like, look at those two.
Why did she write them to be so abusable? Like, why are they,
It's
like...
so weird. I was like having an offset conversation with Savvy about this, that like Dobby as a character makes no fucking sense. There's no
There's an
like
entire race
Oh,
of
yeah.
little
there's an
enslaved
entire race
maids,
of
like-
little men who's only like they're owned by rich like slave master people via sock domination.
They're bound by sock.
They're bound by cloth of sock. They're bound by dirty, stinky socks that smell like their master's feet. What the fuck are these characters? What is Dobby, man?
What's going on with Dobby?
What the fuck is going on with J.K. Rowling, man?
Seriously, she's off her shit.
She's
recently.
fucking wild.
I will say though, we discovered this in our offset conversation. J.K. Rowling has come out and apologized for killing off Dobby, and
Yes.
you know,
And I mean,
Was
that's
it
like
really
what
brave
we
of
were,
her
we were
to
all
do,
waiting
like,
for an
honestly,
apology from J.K. Rowling.
yeah,
We were all
especially
waiting.
like for that, you know.
Yeah, well, that's all.
I think
I mean,
personally, I
she's
forgive
been really
her
in the
for
spotlight a
all
lot
of her
this
wrongs,
year.
everything she's done. You know, she's come out and she's apologized as she should for killing.
Yeah,
off
I don't
Dobby.
know what else we
So,
would need.
I'd like to,
apologize
you know,
for.
I'd like to extend a big thank you to Mrs. Rowling for showing so much maturity and, you know, just showing so much support towards the, you know, the
Dobby
communities.
community.
Yeah, the communities that she may have, like, affected, you know? She's really
Yeah.
reaching out to them
Yeah,
She made an effort.
by,
she made
you know,
an effort.
apologizing about Dobby.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Absolutely.
really nasty to see and think of all the people that were watching that, you know, maybe grew up with the material and were hurt when Dolby died. So, thank you, JK, for that. We still have no clue where Dolby goes on the list.
No, not at all. F tier. Dobby sucks. He's a little stinky, sweaty, fucking
He's a
cum
little
slut. I hate him.
stinky fucking cum slut bitch. No, I don't know, man. Dolby, oh shit. You're right, honestly,
Where
yeah.
does Dobby
Yeah,
go?
I've kind of-
Dolby's
kind of
fucking
been
F
convinced
tier.
into
But is
the
he as
Dobby
bad
hate.
as Tempest, though? Or is he worse
No.
than Tempest? Alright, he's
No.
not as bad as
He's right
Tempest.
below a gremlin.
He's right. Okay, yeah, better than Grey Matter, worse than the Gremlin. Tempest, of
Yeah.
course. Fucking
like how
piece
we've-
of shit.
I like how we've
You know,
agreed Boss
Tempest is a
Baby is
chance
the
to like
worst.
rise up the ranks.
Ah,
They put out
okay.
mapping videos.
Alright, yeah, okay. All right, and Ram has a chance not to be like as culturally revered in 10 years. Yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go, everybody. Here is our final fucking Little Man tier list of the episode. Take a screenshot, mint it, make it an NFT, sell a line. We're ready. All right, so into the second side of Ram. Heart of the country. So, side 2 of Ram. We are greeted with, first of all, the best, like, that's an art that I genuinely believe has been lost, like, even besides, like, the loss of frequency in album releases, actually, like, the art of side 1, side 2 is really lost, because Spotify doesn't even split them on sides. It'll split them on discs, doesn't split them on sides.
When are you meant to make your Little Man tier list?
When are you meant to make your Little Man tier? If you're doing a podcast on, like, fucking Awaken My Love, or fucking any other album, how do you know when to stop and do a Little Man tier list? Fucking submit it to the writer's board. Heart of the country. I have one note for this, and it's I want a horse, I want a sheep.
That's how I noted that as well.
Fair bit to say about this one.
A horse and a sheep.
All right.
He wants a good night's sleep.
I'm gonna direct this one to Savvy first, because Savvy, as you've been the most outward about your hatred of the fucking city slickers and the boomers. So
I live in
what do you
the
think?
heart of the country.
You
so,
do.
You know.
Yeah.
What does this say to you?
I do. Yeah, you know, from the very first second of this piece, I instantly connected with it. You know, it's all about him moving to the country as he did, as he should, as more people should in general in this modern age.
Mine crypto in the country.
And that's actually what he did for the album. A little known fact.
Yeah. We haven't mentioned that yet.
Yeah, we haven't at all. He's expressing his goals, his admirable goals of wanting a horse and a sheep, and also a good night's sleep. You know, one that I'm not getting right now. It's 11 p.m. here, and I'm in Ramcast. Anyways, that's all I gotta say.
It's like a school night too, man, right?
I got a lecture at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Hallelujah, brother. Hallelujah.
I have to wake up at 6:30, but you know, I'm just gonna ram on.
Ram on, baby! Get up and ram on!
Ram on, brothers.
Heart of the country. I mean, I will say this is like a super. It's like fucking. It's like Dear Boy in that it just feels like how much it feels like his love for Linda. It feels like you are feeling the butterflies in his stomach as he sings this melody. Like, I'm here with Linda, I'm out here in the countryside, I want a horse, I want a sheep. It's just like fully like that fucking melody just hits so hard. That's the one thing Paul has never lost favor on, is just being a melodic wizard. What do you have to say, Sarah?
I feel as if this is the thesis of the album. Like, this is the instruction. For, like you were saying, from too many people, this is the instruction booklet that you give to people after that. You listen to Heart of the Country, because it gives you all the tenets. You're gonna go out to the country, you're gonna get yourself a horse, your sheep, and you're gonna get a good night's sleep. You're not gonna get any of those things in the city, and that is the issue that in
not a
our
lot.
society right now.
I had a horse in my apartment. The landowner, I don't know where it went. I woke up one day, took it.
Disgusting.
What?
And that's just an average thing that can happen in any city.
No.
I know. I don't know what he does. It like to think about the horse mines that these people just have, like warehouses full of horse eye in the middle of fucking Midtown Manhattan. It's a nightmare to think. It's really what the UN should be intervening on. I don't know what the fuck they're doing in Yemen, but the Midtown Horse Archives, fucking do something about it.
We need to tear down the horse impound.
The horse impound.
What? Don't laugh.
I'm sorry. I know it's a very serious topic. It's a very serious topic. Very funny verbiage. Well, it's quintessentially the least Lenin-esque, the least of his likeness on the whole record.
Yes.
Okay, actually,
This is a very antithetical Lenin track.
all right. I feel like, all right, my Lenin bucket is getting a little full. Yeah, it's kind of like it's splashing. It's a problem. I'm gonna have
You
to.
should have went for the gallon one.
I know, I should have
told
went
you.
for the gallon Lennon bucket, but they just don't sell. They understand the high demand, the supply chain issues. They're just getting high demand products like dedicated Lennon buckets is incredibly difficult. So, do you guys mind if I just like empty this real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
sure.
all right, cool. I'll dump it real quick.
Do you want to pause or?
No,
give
no,
you
we
a-
can keep going.
Okay.
Whoa. Oh god, it's falling back out. It's falling. There's so much. I just hate Lennon so much.
Be a good boy and finish it.
I'm trying to be good for you.
Ramon,
I'm trying to be
Ramon.
good. I'm trying to be good and get it down. Why does John Lennon have to be so terrible? Oh, I said it!
Yeah, right. That's what you want.
I don't want it. I don't want it. There's so much of it. There's so much.
Yeah, that's right. Slurp it all up. Good little Ram boy.
Was that good? Did I do good?
You did good. You ran
I think
on.
Paul would be
Thank
proud.
you. There was
Oh,
so
he
much.
was.
There was so much of it. Okay. Let's christen the new clean empty John Lennon bowl. Lennon.
Looks like a little bit of Lennon's coming back up.
Okay.
So,
So-
yeah, Heart of the Country, great track.
Heart of the Country, great track. Really a wonderful thesis statement, as you said, of the Ram record. Okay. My head hurts. I just got like
Rolling tough.
a tangible, like, sharp pain down the back of my brain. Ow. Okay. Oh god, here we go, guys. This is... I was a little worried to have this discussion. This was what I believe... Guys, this is Monkberry Moon Delight, and I'm not gonna get any credit for this among my contemporaries, among my peers, but I don't think I love this one! I don't think I love Monkberry Moon Delight! Just come.
You say things that really jeopardize our friendship sometimes, and it just makes me so mad, and I don't know how else to react.
I understand that coming is like you're close. That's how you express anger in a healthy way. But I don't. This song, even for pain or for pleasure, I don't know if Monkberry Moon Delight be deserving any of your seminal fluids. For me, this song is the one blackhead on Aphrodite's nose. It goes
You think
on.
so?
I think so. It goes on forever. It's 6 minutes long, and you guys,
I'll give you that. It's too
Yeah.
long.
and you guys know that like my favorite genre of music are like 15-minute like synth jazz covers played by the
we're
pianist.
familiar with that.
Yeah, played by the pianist fingering themselves and like spasming on the keys. I love that. That shit's awesome. And this is too much for me. It's too much. It's too long. It's too long.
If it wasn't so long, I would like it a lot more.
I will say that it gets better as it goes, though, is my thing. Like, for me, the first 2 minutes are fucking stupid. They're really dumb. They're really dumb. It's the fucking it's harkening back to that weird instinct that the Beatles had at the end of their career, where it was like, let's just put a harpsichord and everything for some reason. It's that like that piano that sounds way too much like a harpsichord, and him going, no. It's I don't know.
I love that. I love when he scream. I love that the whole track is just, or the whole album is just very, very, solemn or, calm at least. Happy. And this is just like, I know my banana is older than the rest.
This is true delight.
It sounds like a fucking Bill Cosby bit. It sounds like South Park impersonation of Bill Cosby, the whole song. I love the Monkberry Moon and the light.
How dare you?
Like, I don't know.
Feel like this is just like classic, like, Paul just having a laugh. Like, we're just having a laugh, recording something for you.
You're right. This is definitely one of those, like, having a laugh in the studio.
Yeah.
I have to say, I love that a lot of the lyrics are literally just in jokes he had with his kids. I think that's hilarious.
Yeah, they all mean nothing.
Like, you know what? I'll make all these the lyrics. I don't really care. This is Ram.
Monkberry Moon Delight is just like a smoothie. It's like a fucking milkshake.
You're right. I first of all, I did not know that, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's apparently what Paul called milk when he was younger, like monk. Call it monk.
Really? Call it monk.
Monk. Yeah, I want some monk, a monk shake. So I don't know.
That's hilarious.
It probably just sounds
shake.
cool, and like the chorus. I like the way he's like Monkberry Moon and Light. Like it just sounds cool. It doesn't have to, it could just be having a laugh.
I agree. Hey, some of my favorite Beatles songs are just when they're having a laugh and fucking around. Like
having a laugh. I will be real with you. Before this podcast, I took mushrooms last night to see if I could find some deeper meaning in Monkberry Moon Delight.
Did you actually?
Did you achieve
for Monkberry Moon Delight?
Yes, I did do this, and
that's awesome.
I got nothing out of it. I was incredibly frustrated while listening to the song because I felt like I was taking in as much as I could. I was in the peak of my awareness, and it meant fucking nothing to me.
And I think,
absolutely nothing.
I was
infuriated.
A shroom experience reveals the truth about all the stimulus you take. That's the truth about Monkberry Moon Delight.
Absolutely infuriated.
That's the truth about Monkberry Moon Delight, though. That is the beauty of the song. I respect the rawness.
It means nothing.
It is purely a having a laugh in the studio.
It's really the having a laugh track. We're just having a laugh with the mates.
We're just having a laugh. I love that inside joke. That's like just how Savvy and I will put snoo energy in the script for the iceberg and put like fucking revolting slop in the background. It's like that same vibe.
It means nothing.
I'm gonna put like my own joke, only me and this other guy understand in this like huge project.
And it will make
it
it
be
seen
seen
by
by
a bunch of people.
No one else. If you don't get it,
literally, if you don't understand the Little Man tier list, unsubscribe from the channel. Unsubscribe.
Absolutely.
You don't need to understand.
You don't need to get it.
Fuck.
We're supposed to the future of the world. Where's Little Man tier list part 2? That's what I'm asking myself. I'm asking myself, where's Little Man part 2? That's what I'm interested in. Okay.
Same here.
Maybe you should get more on board with the creative mania of this channel.
Maybe you should get more on board. I told you we were doing bullshit this year. We're doing some bullshit. We're doing Little Man tier list. Anyways, final note on Monkberry Moon Delight. I just hate the title.
I like it.
It sounds like something Grandma would describe rationing during World War II. It's like, we all couldn't have the same amount of Monkberry Moon Delight that we had in the prior years. We had to have one slice per child. This is like gross, Grandma. Gross.
Yeah, I have one thing to say. At one point in the song, he calls a group of rats a rattle of rats, and I found that quite funny. A rattle of rats. So, that's actually it's a collective term for rats. And I got thinking, I got curious, and I was like, is that actually the term for a collective of rats? And I looked it up, and the disappointment on my face cannot be described. And I saw that, in fact, it is called a mischief of rats. I think that's very. It's not the same.
I don't know. I kind of like a mischief of rats, though. I don't know. I gotta tell you, man. If it wasn't rattle, I'd do mischief, because they are all about mischief. Rats are quintessential little men. They've got
trickster energy.
They are little big trickster little men energy on the part of rats.
True.
Yeah.
Rattle of rats is good.
Lots of mapping.
The rattle of mapping.
There's a lot of parts in the song where you think it's going to make sense. Like, he starts going somewhere, and then it doesn't. Like,
And
it
then he
drops
goes,
off.
"Fuck every moon in my butt." Oh!
Energy.
Like, it started. It's the beginning
"The
makes
Bible is here, I
sense.
swear.
The begin, like, he's like, I sat in my attic, a piano at my nose, fucking.
Big
don't
trickster energy on the part of Paul McCartney on Monkberry Moon Delight.
Yeah, really big trickster
Yeah.
energy for getting me to, like,
That's the
even think
takeaway.
about it, you know what I mean?
That's like
Like-
part of the fun for him.
That's the trickster energy.
It's like, fuck you, we're doing some tricky shit.
He's
so,
like, he really let out the trickster within on that farm. Like,
he did. The trickster
Yeah, he
within
did.
became the trickster without.
It
on
escaped.
Ram Ranch.
all right, let's talk about Eat at Home.
Eat at
Let's do
Home,
that.
I fucking love. This is probably one of my favorite tracks on the
Eat at
record.
Home is good.
Absolutely killer melody. That fucking, like, it's so carefree. That fucking, it conjures images of, like, a polar bear effortlessly surfing on a wave of Capri Sun. It's so, like, fruity and delicious and oogie boogie. It's like, it's like a cookout. It feels like a family cookout in 2006. I love it. What do you guys think?
I agree. I wrote down a very specific note for this. I said it gives off the exact feeling of living off the land. Growing your own food, just staying like at your farm, getting your food from the animals and the crops that you grow. As the title says, eating at home, eating
at
in
home.
bed, even.
No DoorDash.
Eat at home.
No Uber Eats. Eat at home.
Most importantly, no cities, no
Isn't that
shops,
still eat at
none
home?
of that.
No cities, no shops. I don't believe in commerce. I don't believe in
No
commerce.
slickers.
That's
I
for
believe in
slickers.
trade.
Can't be slick.
Yeah, I believe in trade and exchange. I don't believe in commerce.
I believe in barter. I think
I
we
believe
should
in
abolish
barter.
money.
Hold on. Yeah,
We
trade
should
and barter.
abolish money. We should abolish crypto and
Abol-
NFTs. We should go back to barter.
Whoa, okay.
Whoa,
well,
okay,
all
hold
right,
on,
a little.
hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
I
your
suppose
one
I'm-
strike. We all got a strike
All right,
today.
a
On the
little bit of a
Ramcast.
mask off, big yikes moment from Sabby, but it's okay.
That is
Yeah.
my take.
That's the
I'm
thing
not
that
ashamed
keeps
of
this,
it.
Mask
this podcast so lively is that we all have a few controversial opinions, but we also keep each other in line.
We do. We
Yeah.
keep each other honest. We
You're
are
on.
honest about GLM. We're honest about BLM. We're honest about crypto. We have real conversations.
Yeah.
So,
We're honest
Eat at
about
Home,
living.
Ram Paul McCartney. Killer melody. Love that buzzy guitar. Sounds like a bee farting. It's so great. It's such a bop. Sarah, what do you think about Eat at Home?
I think it's very nice. I think it's it's just a nice little melody
Yeah.
about like Paul and Linda making each other food.
Yeah, it's like not a lot to get into. It's not
It's just
a
like
whole,
I just imagine
odyssey.
I just imagine Paul bringing her like breakfast in bed when I listen to it, and it's nice. It's very
Yeah.
romantic.
Really, though, it is. So many of the songs here are really raw. And, like, just a little dilution I want to say real quick that I tried to talk about at the start, but I don't think I really got to get into. Like, a lot of people praise John Lennon, Hatu, specifically for the rawness of his sound. It's all about, like, yeah, it's a precursor to grunge, he just opens himself up, it's blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that's true, that's right. Literally, like, the title track on one of his records is called My Mama's Dead. Like, he's real. I respect that. But I don't think that's a point against McCartney. Like, McCartney is able to be just as raw as John was with his sound, or George was with his sound. Like, Paul brings so many nuanced emotions here. It's not just about the misery and the dourness of life. Like, that's part of it, but it's about the cyclical nature of finding happiness in spite of that. There's a rawness to this music that's uninhibited by collaboration. That he did benefit from collaboration with the Beatles, obviously, they all did, but, like, there's something really special about just hearing Paul as Paul. And he's able to be raw in his love and just present love in the same raw way that John is able to present cynicism. With that being said,
We hate him.
we hate him. He's a fucking asshole.
I hate him. Worse than Tempest.
So, not even a comment. Well, yeah. I mean, my Tempest buckets
That's
are pretty full,
controversial.
but I don't have to. I don't spit every time I say Tempest, so that's fair. Do it, Tempest. Do it, John Lennon. Okay, so final song. Final song. What the fuck? Next song.
Yeah.
You're making this up. You're trying to get me to
I know.
sleep, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I would never try to
Gonna
put
get
a
me to
damper
leave.
on Ram. I don't know why I did that. That was my bad. Long-haired
Here,
lady.
Rama.
I honestly don't remember a lot about this song. What do you guys have down for long-haired lady?
I said it's a song about the ideal trad wife GF.
Kinda is.
I also
savvy.
said, yeah. No, he repeats the lines, "Sing your song, love is long," and I think that's a subtle nod to the fact that it's the longest song of the album.
Yeah, I feel that, a little subtle
Okay.
nod to the
Feel
length
that?
reference.
Yeah.
I feel
That's
that,
what I'm getting from it.
I guess my one, like, fucking note there would be a comment on that. Like, yeah, I do like how the length plays into the repetition. It's almost like an optimistic answer to "I Want You, She's So Heavy" from Abbey Road, where John just like depicted his love for Yoko, John, as like this overwhelming tornado that he just drowns in, and it's just this is kind of a positive answer to that, and it keeps going, and it's repetitive in that way, and you just sort of experience the breadth of his love for Linda. So it's beautiful. Of course, I love the goofiness in Linda's voice. It's, again, harkens back to like indie pop contemporary shit that spawned from this. That's what I think about this song. Does anybody else have anything to say about Long-Haired Lady?
Yeah, it's just.
I said my part.
It wasn't my favorite song on the record, I will say.
Yeah, I didn't love it. I did not like it.
Wow. That's brutal. I will say, I don't know, Monkberry Moon Delay, I almost think soars to higher highs than Long-Haired Lady. Like, I like Long-Haired Lady, but it doesn't, I don't know. Kind of a low point in the record. But that is about to change, because, ladies, fellas, and folks at home, Ram On Reprise?
Reprisal.
Ram On 2? If Ram On 1 is what every golden retriever hears when it dies, this is what every golden retriever hears while it's being born. Like, this is the leitmotif of the album. This is Luke Skywalker standing on the fucking edge of Tatooine looking at the twin suns and hearing that in Return of the Jedi later. Like, it's a beautiful return, reminding you of how far you've come on this journey. Really.
That's
this
true. Like
positive
how far
reprise-
you've come into this podcast.
Yeah.
We're very different from how we were like an hour or so ago.
We kind of are.
We matured a lot, I think.
We've grown.
I think we've grown, yeah.
We've learned things
think
about
we have.
ourselves. We've learned a lot of things about City Slickers.
Each
Learned
other.
A lot of things about their... Yeah,
And
each
most
other.
important, we've learned a lot of things about little men.
Most
We've
importantly.
learned, most
that's what Paul
importantly.
intended.
Yeah, a lot about Ram.
Yeah, and my stomach hurts a lot more than it did at the start of the show.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, that's all the
that's what
growth.
That's
All the
growth.
emotional growth.
Yeah, it's not the gallon
Oh, no,
of
no, no.
saliva that I drank.
No, that's not
It's
that.
the growth.
It was the half gallon of saliva that you drank.
Yeah, it's the half gallon. The back seat of my car, the final song on this record, and so beautifully reverent. So beautifully reverent. The back seat of my car, an interesting note is I believe this is the only song on the record that was actually being written during the Beatles era. In the Get Back documentary by Peter Jackson, you see Paul running it by the fellow Beatles, and of course it's as beautiful as ever, just him sitting there with the piano. And
Birth of Ram.
the birth of Ram you get to actually see.
Live on cam.
The birth of Ram, live on cam. Don't look that up. You're not going to get Paul McCartney. So, the backseat of my car, beautiful ballad. And again, like, it's light. It's real topics. You know, a lot of melodramatic love songs. The grandiose nature of my love for you. You make me feel like planet. You make me feel like poo. Like, too many metaphors. It gets lost in itself, in its indulgence. This is just about him and Linda in the backseat of his car. It's real. And you feel that again. You feel giddy. You feel like you're falling in love. It's a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you feel like you're rolling up to that Scottish farm for the first time, you know.
Really,
It being the first song that was made, and also, you know, the only one that mentions, like, say, a car, you know, something that produces the fumes present in cities, you know. He's sort of leaving that behind.
Yeah, he's using
He's
that
like he's
energy
going to
as
the
a
country, a new,
springboard to
better
escape
life,
it.
one that we should all strive to have.
A life of ramming on.
Amen.
That's it.
God.
Beautiful song, beautiful production, beautiful penis music-esque vocals. Love it. And that's the final track on the record, and then you're just left to stew in that reverence, in like the post-ram malaise. What do you do then? Do you ram on? Do you hear that warning, or do you not? Do you ram in?
Yeah, I think it would be really immature of me to like try and give an answer to that. It's very up to who you are as a person after you listen to the
I
album.
think we need a good few hundred episodes before we can begin to answer
That
this
is the
one.
question that we are going to answer over the next 2 to 7,000 episodes of this show.
Yeah.
It will be daily. We're doing a Joe Rogan thing without the racism, but still the anti-vax stuff. Yeah, we're going
just to balance things out.
we're going sort of a la carte with what we pick, like the best sushi bars. So, everybody, my final thesis on this record. It was maligned at its time. All the former Beatles said horrible shit about it. All like the Rolling Stones, everybody, all the critics panned this record because it was a horrible. It was like great music was being made, but the zeitgeist was poison. It was like, unless you weren't fucking like boning your girlfriend in your dad's basement to Black Sabbath, you weren't keeping it real, man. You weren't keeping it real. And it would take decades for this kind of music to truly be celebrated the way that it is now, where it's a mainstream, like, cultural zeitgeist defining thing. It's beautiful and I love it. And there's a reason why Ram is now remembered as Paul McCartney's best record. Universally. Either right, like, above or behind Band on the Run. I love it. Do you guys have any final statements?
You know, it's just such an influential album, and I feel so blessed to be living in a time where we as a population are growing to accept works like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's hope
And hopefully
out
we
there.
see more Ram-inspired media to come.
Like this.
Yeah.
So
Like
everyone,
this. Hopefully we start something here. Hopefully this is
hopefully
the birth
this
of
is the big bang.
a Ram Renaissance.
A Renaissance, if you will. Through this video, we shall birth a universe with atoms of oxen and quarks of crane. Everybody, thank you for watching. In conclusion, it is the Undertale of Paul McCartney records. I will not elaborate on that. I will not elaborate. Thank you all for watching, and ram on.
Ram on.
Give your heart to somebody.